time to strap in and get ready. The leaders in NRL SuperCoach are incoming, bringing you the ultimate insight to help you win your leagues and climb up the rankings. You're now listening to the Insight NRL Show with your hosts, Brain, Mattrix, and Whisperer.
G'day guys, round 13, the first mini buy is done. It's in the books. Mattrix has the clown, Whisperer has the crown. I am second, Death and Texas. It's. I'll tell you what, I gave you a run for your money this week though. It's only 12 points difference between us. So Josh, you obviously take the crown this week, mate. Had a pretty good week. Should see some green arrows with 12-13, you reckon?
I mean, mate, I think 1,000 gets green arrows from where the three of us are ranked. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Matty, how about yourself, mate? What went wrong this week?
Oh, nothing. This week's gone great. Well, I've been reading some books. I played some PlayStation. Went for a nice little run this morning. I tell you what, got a little half week because there's an event going on, like a work event, so I still get paid for it. The Formula One's on tonight. Like everything's coming up trumps apart from SuperCoach.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just wanted to double check the heading of this video for 1 second and just double back on how your SuperCoach team's gone. Sorry, I should rephrase the question. What went wrong with your SuperCoach team this week?
Drinky second half.
Yeah.
Honestly, I captained him. I was cheering. I sort of expected the last game in the Roosters in Canberra, not to be a poo slinger, but just to be like a little bit of like a grinded out sort of game, whereas there was actually quite a bit of scoring as well. So I sat a fair few of those guys, played like somebody like a Hosking because I expected the game to be played in the middle a bit more. Yeah, just some stuff like that. Like it wasn't Jerome Hughes' week. I had his score drop out. Like I played Jesse Arthurs, who was going to be a trade out for me, and then he got named at fullback, and then he goes and cucks me that way. Like, I'm not disappointed because I've got Garrick and it's just that Sharp had a bad week, and I've got Campbell and I've got all these really good guys. I could have went last minute Iongi to Latrell, which was tempting, and I got that wrong too. Just not mad, just disappointed.
Yeah, like a father. I mean, you are a father, so that makes sense. Josh, you obviously had a pretty good week, mate. Captain Cleary in the end, pretty happy with his score?
Yeah, can't complain with 86. It's not great, it's not bad. I think it's like just below my season average of captains, but just a whole lot of mediocrity. Raiders forward pack, we all suffered from it in different aspects. Who else was sort of decent? I mean, Terrell May, of course, but that's just copy and paste. That's really it. Selwyn Cobbo, decided to hold him over Corey Horsburgh. It was 6 points difference. Cobbo dropped out for me. If I played Horsburgh, I would have gained 3 points. So not the end of the world, but Tamale, mate, back-to-back weeks I've played him, back-to-back weeks he's turned up. So maybe the curse is broken.
Tamale's been red hot, hasn't he? Like to a point. I mean, we were obviously pretty high on him at the start of the season, and we talked about him being a keeper, and I guess other things pop up, and the reason why you probably still have him is because other fires you need to put out, other players, other injuries. We've copped a few of those this year, so a happy hold or happy coincidental hold, regardless of how you get your points, you'll take them. 12:01 for me. I kind of feel like I fell over at the finish line there, but Sandon Smith. Let me tell you, Sandon Smith has got to be the hero of NRL SuperCoach, because actually, you know what? I would like to thank Blake Brayley for this. I feel like this is probably the best thing Blake Brayley's done for me this year, and that's be on a buy so that I could get Sandon Smith's score, because I don't think I've played Sandon Smith as a starter this year once. It's always been Brayley, and he's sat aside for me to play the real hooker one at Brain Ball, and that's Sandon Smith this year. We'll talk through the games, guys, but if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and like and follow and review and give us a 5-star review and do all those things if you like the content. If you don't, then that's cool. But let us also know how you go in the chat this week as well. I'm seeing some pretty big scores when I'm shuffling through this chat right now. 1327 from Aussie Windsock, 1262 from Paul Walter. He's knocked us all off. Munda Difflin, 1330. We got, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. I know it's an AFL player's name, 1340. Ryan Orchard, 1276. There's some big ones. 1444 from David O'Brien this week as well. So big shout, David O'Brien. Huge. Let's rip into these games, hey, and start having a chat about the footy. We've got baller.live up here. Shout out to those boys. Top website if you want to track your stats and want to stay on top of it and hate waiting 30 seconds for the fucking NRL SuperCoach app to update your scores. This is where you need to be. Dragons 20, Knights 6. Knights suck, Josh. I don't even know what to say other than that.
Look, I don't know what kind of substances NRL HQ were on when they were putting together the draw, but who the fuck decided to put the Newcastle Knights on in a rep round when there was a very good likelihood Ponga wasn't going to be playing on primetime TV? Who subjected us to this? This was awful.
It's putrid, wasn't it? It wasn't much to talk about in this game. Probably the main talking point. Damien Cook, 76 minutes this game, 79 the last game he played in round 11. The issue is that obviously both of those games had injuries. Dylan Egan went down in the 4th minute, I think, in round 11, and who wasn't in this one that went down? Can't remember. Someone did. Pretty sure
it was it Sewer?
Yeah, Jaden Sewer. Yeah, only played 23 minutes. Good pickup. Is there any love there for you, Matty? Like, Damien Cook will come in at about maybe 475K next week?
I mean, if you're really clutching at straws, look, he's a guy that has this upside and it's exciting, but just the fact that it just keeps happening because of injury, if the minutes just changed and his role had changed and everything, it'd be wheels up. I love Cookie at, 450K, but just nothing excites me about, situational minutes upticks. I'm wearing the clown wig for this whole one because this was an absolute poo slinger, like absolute clowns. I watch every minute that I can of the NRL, and I moved it to the little screen and messaged you, Braino, and said, like, can we just play PlayStation or something? This is awful. I'd just rather do anything else.
Yeah, and to show you how much we actually really didn't enjoy this game, we played random rec with just the two of us on NBA 2K. And for anybody who can relate to that,
awful.
Yeah, we played with 3 blokes who obviously were in another squad together, and we just didn't care. That's how bad. I would rather play random rec with one person than watch this game. Josh, who stood out to you? You guys had maybe a little bit of a joke, but maybe there was an element of seriousness to it about Clint Gutherson this week. 63, he scored with a try and a line break. So what are your thoughts?
Firstly, no invite to random rec. Love to chat.
Sorry, bro.
No.
Don't need no 3D specialist. I'll just go. Honestly, I haven't played for about 5 months, so
this is the first time I've actually played a game of rec in 4 months.
I had to do the update before I popped in.
When you said the big talking point and you scrolled down to sort of the back row, I was hoping for the Luciano Leilua 47 points in 57 minutes. Shout out. So good value from him. Price at a 40, pumps out a 47. So getting
insane
around.
Value.
Oh, look, scored more than very popular 2RF Zach Hosking. So all I can say is Lucci to the moon. Gutho, I don't know, the Dragons are just not using him like they were in the rounds 1 to 3. That was the concern with the numbers that were unsustainable. But if there is a role change, then fantastic. Nathan Lawson, 17 hit-ups, 6 tackle busts, a line break, 47 points. I think he's done enough. Christian Chauvelotu back in. Dragons fans are calling for Tyrell Sloan's head. So is Lawson long-term?
Would love it if he was. That would free up some money. That would free up some money for everybody because I know anybody who doesn't have Papy or Papy or Teddy is probably going to need to get one of them. Obviously, you won't be getting Teddy next week. You probably get Papy if it needs to be next week, but the week after, it'll be Teddy. If Lawson coming onto the bubble potentially in round 15 manages to hold on to a spot here, he'll be the most owned or most purchased player that week.
I am tempted to move early if he is named because I've got Selwyn Cobbo and I've also got Adam Dewey just stinking it up. So I do like a Titans 5'8" / fullback that we can touch on. I need to upgrade 5'8". So yeah, if Lawson is kicking around next week with Tuipulotu back inside, then I think I am keen on that. David Clemmer played greatest game since 2012. And
Bulldogs, David Clemmer. That's what it felt
Yeah,
like.
he looked good too.
Loco Pacifica Tonga, stud.
Gun, isn't he? How good? 22
he-
minutes, 57 points.
Is he 2025 Ben Takora?
Oh,
Remember how he was just? Oh no, sorry, Xavier Willison when he was just putting up like
yeah.
50 points in 20 minutes every week.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
no, he's
He
no
could be.
Farmacilli, that's for sure. I guess the only other talking point for the Dragons is Toby Couchman playing 80 minutes on return on the edge. Yeah, 70 points for him in BP.
Wheels are
yeah,
well and truly up.
good signs. Obviously, the Dragons have a relatively friendly schedule moving forward as well. Their availability is pretty good. No risk of origin, I wouldn't have thought. It's just, and what surprised me is the actually playing 80 minutes off the back of not playing footy for 3 weeks. Like out with a 3-week injury, lower limb from memory, wasn't it? It was a knee or an
It
ankle
was a
or
knee.
something.
No, it was a shoulder. Yeah, the same
shoulder.
thing as Dylan Lucas.
Oh, well, that's fine then. I thought it was lower limb. That's okay.
But no. He apparently, listening to commentary, he had his knee strapped before the injury, and then there's sort of time just let him heal it. So I'm very much keen on him, especially if Hosking is going to be playing prop. Then that's gross. Corey Horsburgh sucks. Smithies looks to have died. So if you want to move on any of those Raiders guys, then yeah, like Catchman, he's definitely one to have over the origin period.
Shout out Ricky Stewart for ruining all of our SuperCoach hopes and dreams, as we expect. Let's very quickly touch on the Knights and shout out Dane Gagai, who just continues to put up scores each and every week, and Kai Pearce-Paul. He scored the first try and probably hit the first gap of his NRL career. So congratulations to Kai Pearce-Paul. 89 for him with a try and a line break. So good numbers in BP, regardless of the attacking stat there. Positive.
So sad. Like obviously started with him at like 0.9% owned and was doing really well the first 2 weeks and then got suspended for 3 weeks and then came back and he's been really good. He's putting up 60 BP, has the attacking upside that we've seen finally. Just pain, isn't it?
What stood out for you here, Matty? Anybody?
Oh, I just fucking hate the Knights. I mean, like, I vice captain Fletcher Sharp, which was disappointing because they just basically did nothing. Dylan Lucas, I'm not concerned about. Yeah, look, he was carrying that shoulder injury through the last game as well. Obviously scored 150 there, but I mean, Leo Thompson was good. I'm like, if I'm clutching at straws, but like until the Knights start scoring more points, I don't think I can put, the vice captain on an extremely exciting to watch Fletcher Sharp. Look at getting Ponga back into my team. I'm just starting to draw a line through the Knights, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that line was well and truly drawn a good month ago.
Speaking of Fletchers, just want to give a shout to Fletcher Hunt. 9, 23, 9 for a 3-round average of 13.3. I don't think he's going to make money.
Can you lose money from there?
No, you can't lose money, but his break even was 32 as a bottom dollar player. So that's impressive. For an 80-minute man, that's really impressive to not make money as a bottom dollar player playing 240 minutes in 3 weeks.
But didn't look that bad. Like, did you see those couple of takes that he took and everything like there? Like, I just, like, before anyone comes out and says he's bad, like, yes, he is probably the worst guy with a mullet on that team and the worst haircut on that team. But, like, looked kind of good. It's just kind of up to the halves to get it out to him or Adam O'Brien to get him involved. Because if he can catch it like that in defense, why aren't they kicking it to him in attack? Like, I was an extremely frustrated owner. So I didn't play him, but yeah. Shout
out to Tyson Gamble and Jack Cogger, if that summarises things for you, Matty, as to why he didn't get much good ball. Sadly.
Yep.
So, Leo Thompson out for 4 weeks, suspended by the looks of things for that crusher tackle as well. So, I mean, I'd say maybe Matt Croker probably is the big winner out of that suspension, considering we'll see Tyson Frizzell probably stay in the prop rotation there, and Jacob Saifidi, I think, is due back next week. So they're going to need to have someone fill that 13 role for the next month. So, Matt, if you don't have Matt Croker, maybe in draft, probably more than classic. I think he's probably not a bad pickup.
I just looked at it. I thought I'd give him a shout out, but he's 460k. So there's probably nothing in draft, definitely, but definitely nothing in classic.
Let's move on to the very, very wet game. Hey, 28-16 to the Storm over the Titans at Seabus. Jaden Campbell played fullback in this one, but played probably more like a 5'8". He seemed like he had first receiver rights, basically get the ball to JC in this game and let him do his thing. Didn't matter where it was on the field. He did a lot of the in-play kicking as well. So, yeah, a lot to love there. Obviously, we would naturally assume that so De Groot and AJ Brimson were both out late, both with soft tissue injuries?
AJ picked up concussion-like symptoms in training, and De Groot picked up a hammy. So, I don't know. Like, you'd expect Brimo to go to 1 and JC at 6 and Foz at 7, but they just look better with JC at 1. I've never been a huge AJ Brimson guy. I don't know. Like, Jaden Campbell's a very, very good football player.
Yeah, he's fantastic, isn't he? Phillips Army, another guy, scored a double, 83, continues to put up scores. I mean, you could do much worse. It seems like he finds a try line, seems like he's on that red hot right side as well. So lots to love about him.
He featured heavily in our pod section on Thursday, but not by us. The chat were frothing over Phil Sami, so definitely thought of those guys when he fell over for the double for 83. So shout out Super Pod Phil Sami for anyone that was on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just gonna say, like, you look at foreigns in there in 17 and whatever. He's never been a super coach guy. But how much better did the Titans look? Like, they just looked unreal. And, like, you can put it back to JC at the back if you want to. I'm probably not going to. I think it's foreign coming in because JC was great in the halves. JC's great all the time, but just having a bit more structure. And, like, it was a wet game. Like, it was a slug of a game. But they took it to the Storm in this one. This one was one I actually enjoyed, especially enjoyed watching footy after whatever that was on Friday night.
Yeah. A tough game, obviously, scoring-wise, a pretty low scorer for the most part because of the wet. But, yeah, I mean, the Titans, aside from Tino, who backed up, Randall, Regan Campbell-Gillard, nothing really worth mentioning above 65, which is, Sami and JC. So, Storm-wise, Pappenhausen, 4 goals probably helped him tick along. He got a try assist and a line break assist there as well to get 63, so not quite enough to loop in this one, sadly. Saw Farlongo with a couple of tries there and a 75, but the halves, 41 and 32 for Munster and Hughes. What are we doing with Hughes, Matty? We were having this chat a little bit before we went live. It's pretty frustrating as an owner, knowing what he did for us last year, to see him put up these kind of scores, which is very unlike him.
Yeah, and look, I had to, like, obviously your knee-jerk reaction is, fuck, I hate Hughes. But this wasn't the game for it. Titans were up and up for the game. They were up for some of this game, I think. But also, like, yeah, it just wasn't the game for it. And I think he will have some big scores, and he's going to play some more games than Cleary in the next, I suppose, stretch of games. Whether it's as quality games as Cleary, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, hopefully Hughes can just keep a bit of value through this period so that we can get him back to Cleary for the run home.
Yeah, fair. Eli Catal with a 68. Josh, did you end up buying him in the end? I think he was on your target list, wasn't he?
Yeah, went him over Hamole, which was not ideal, but still 68 pure BP. We will definitely take that in the pissing down rain. Ball just didn't really go his side, which is good to see. He's pumping out 70 points in a game where he didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, fair. Aside from that, not really much to mention in this one. I mean, is there any concern moving forward? I think the Storm, they've got one more bye. Am I right in saying one more bye in round 15, and then pretty much a free run for the run home? No more byes. So let me ask you this: we're looking at, let's say, round 15 purchase or round 16 purchase, right? You want to let Teddy and Papy for 2 weeks. Who are you picking out of the two? Because obviously it's got to be Papy next week or Teddy the week after, considering the buys. If you had the perfect choice, Josh, who's your man?
Cowboys at Amy Park seems like the play for Papy next week. Then into Souths. And they play the Cowboys again. And we'll talk on the Cowboys, but I think they lost the game 28-4 or something like that in 13 on 13 scenario. So there's definitely points for the taking. You're looking at this draw for Papy. It's the Cowboys, it's the Rabbitohs, it's the Sharks, which is not great, as we learnt last week with Tedesco, but then it's the Cowboys again, Knights, Manly, Roosters, Parramatta, Broncos, Panthers. So pretty good, like 8-week stretch. it's probably got to be him. I think he's, what is he? Papy is 847 compared to Teddy being 900. Teddy with a break even of 151. So they're going to be about the same price. I think I just take the points on the board next week and back the draw.
Yeah, okay. I don't know about you, Matty, because correct me if I'm wrong, we're both faders of both. But
yeah,
I'm looking
a
at
shit road.
Yeah, it hasn't been fun, I'll tell you that much. But I'm looking at Teddy just when you compare the two games this week, I know it was wet. And let's just maybe even not even compare Papy this week. Let's go back a couple of rounds to when Papy played in round 11 or round 10 even. And I just feel like Papy has to do so much more, Matty, to score well. He has the goal kicking, which is the advantage over Teddy. But fuck, Teddy just shits points. Like 4 tackle breaks running sideways. The man's got baby oil on him. He'll finish with 37 tackle breaks, and he's always in and around the ball in support. I don't know. I just feel like Teddy's scores points much easier than Papy does, and he's an easier watch. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, and like, look, Roosters lost today, and like Tedesco's still just always the number one scorer. Whenever the Roosters have to do anything, they're going to Tedesco. Whereas I feel like with the Storm, yeah, like Papy is in the right place at the right time, but it is your Munsters. It is your Harry Grant to an extent, and these other guys creating. It's going to be a tough watch, but I think I will probably go Tedesco and try to get off a few of these Roosters assets just to come back in for Teddy. Teddy, for me, has been a harder watch than, I suppose, the number one scoring Storm asset and Ryan Pappenhausen.
I just think the Storm's shape looks a whole lot more appealing. Like Teddy 94 today, 1 try contribution, 2 line breaks, 1 offload, 13 tackle busts. Like, I understand Teddy's an easier watch. When the ball gets inside the 20, I can almost bank on Paps getting 30 points out of that, whereas the Roosters just look so clunky. Like, I'd love to look at Teddy's breakdown after this week in terms of where his points come from. They probably come from, I'd say at least 50% of his points coming from evade stats, which is fine. Yeah, I just think the goal kicking edges it for me with Pap.
Yeah, I'm just trying to quickly compare their scores. I've got Teddy's here, and I'm just looking at his scores, and he scored 400s this year, 1, 2, and then 2 other scores above 80. So 6 scores above 80. If we go and have a look at Papy, he's gone 300s and then 1 more score above 80. So realistically, Teddy's outscoring him pretty comfortably. It feels like Papy's getting to a point where he goes 60, 60, 60, 70, 60. How often have we seen him be on 60 at halftime and finish on 66?
I think that's a product of the Storm. Like, the Storm need to start stringing games together. In saying that, like, Pap has not had a score below 66 all year, apart from last week when we know the Sharks are SuperCoach fullback killers. Like, 63 was his worst score this year. Outside of that, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm just backing the attacking shape and goal kicking over the absurd amount of tackle busts.
Yeah, it's like involvement versus maybe the shape and the team that you've got to consider. But I'll tell you what, when you look at Teddy's last 7-8 games, it's pretty hard to look past him. But anyway, it'll be a tough decision for a lot of super coaches, I'd say, that don't have him over the next fortnight. Let's talk Cowboys Tigers. 32-28 was 32-6. Josh, you said that I think it was 28-4 or something like that when we had 13 men on the field.
Yeah, I think it was like 24 to 4, 28 to 4, something like that. Like, we obviously had the big comeback 13-13. I'm not sure if that's the Cowboys sucking. I think you've got to give credence to the fact that 35% of their team had played 2 games of football in 4 days. I also don't think they're a defensive stalwarts by any means. So any team with the Cowboys in it, I think, are a fine team to target. It just shows you, I think, the blueprint. If you want to beat the Cowboys, just go laterally and try and just go around them rather than through them, because they seem to be pretty good defensively through the middle. But there are definitely some deficiencies out wide. But mate, it's the hope that kills you, isn't it?
So close yet so far. To be fair, we just didn't play good enough footy for long enough. Like, the last 25 minutes were fantastic. The first 55 were putrid. So, and you can't just go and get 2 sin bins in a game and expect to win games of footy. Matty, what did you take from the Cowboys first of all, mate? You had the orange armband on Drinky. A few other guys went big in this one. What'd you take from it?
Yeah, I thought they looked really good early. Loved the half combination of Purdue and Dearden. Trying not to bring the salt on the Broncos, but I've had to bite my tongue about 4 times tonight when I say just tip the Titans next week. But like, we got rid of Dearden because he wasn't a playmaker, and then you go and put a running half beside him in Purdue, and they look great. I am probably putting, like Josh said, credence into the fact that a lot of these guys did play footy 4 days earlier, and the balls coming through to Drinkwater wasn't coming through as well. But like, you know what? If you said at the start of the day, Drinky's going to get a 71, and then you look at, who everybody else captained, I probably wouldn't have been disappointed. It's just the fact that he was on like 50 so quickly. And I was just so keen, like expecting to see another 130 score from Drinky and right off into the sunset. Because I did think this week was really hard to get a good captain on. But yeah, look, it's disappointing. But John Bateman got one over. I've still got him in a few formats. That's good.
Handy. Love it.
I think with Drinky, it's the stat line itself, which is so underwhelming. Like 1 try assist, 1 try contribution, 4 goals, 1 line break, 4 tackle busts. Like, to me, that's just way more than 71. And this is the concern, not the concern, but this is the downside of Drinkwater, isn't it? It's great. It's great when the 4-5 try assists come in and the 130s pop up. But we saw, what was it, against Manly or the week before that, where it was sub 30. And then this week when he puts up a stat line, which I would say any of the other top 5 fullbacks put this stat line up, they get 130, 140. It's just a bit hard to stomach sometimes, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely a harder watch in the, when we're talking about easy scorers, he's not one of them. But again, everything runs through him. So, I mean, I feel like he gets good attacking ball multiple times a set, like to a point where everything is structured to run through Drinky. So he's going to have these scores, but yeah, I agree. He's got to do a lot.
He's a carbon copy of Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen probably has slightly more, not work rate, but probably has a better floor thanks to the better goal kicking. Drinkwater by no means is a gunslinger off the tee. But that was the thing. Like, I didn't look at these scores until the end of the game. I try not to do it with Tigers games, but if you told me as a Scott Drinkwater fader that he put up that stat line, yeah, I'd be in disarray. But non-owners very lucky to get away with 71. Owners, I mean, you'll take 71 all day long, so it's a bit of a win-win for everyone. But what could have been?
Any love for, I mean, look, I think it's fair to say we can probably lock in Jackson Purdue long term. He's done enough, at least in this game. I know it's the Tigers, but he's done enough to probably hold down that jersey, I think, at least for the next few weeks. Cowboys have got their first win without Clifford as well, so I'm sure that's a confidence builder for Todd Payton. Zach Labert, 63 in the centres. He just played his second game. He comes onto the bubble next week. At 389k, bit of an awkward price at centre wing. But I tell you what, like I don't mind it as a downgrade if you're looking to go Toya to him. You could bank 200k realistically and still have a playable option for the next 6 weeks. I really don't mind. I'm a fan of Labert as a player, and it looks like it's a bit more solid, like job security wise, Matty, than we would have said last week.
Yeah, and like I do like it, and I do like him as a player, and I was really looking at him in the preseason, but like upon, I suppose, this point of the season when we've made so much cash elsewhere, like unless you really need the numbers for those buys and you don't have anyone, like if you told me he's 420k at the end of the year, I'm probably not super surprised. Like I don't think you're going to be making heaps of money. I don't think he's going to be an AE nightmare. I think he's just somebody that might score a 35 on a shit day. But I also think much like, what we've sort of been seeing with a Billy Smith or somebody like that, like, he might just be scoring 40 to 45 for the majority of the year as well. Like they put on a lot of points early and there was a lot of attack, and yeah, it's 63. It's nothing to get super excited about.
Yeah, not huge. At the price point, though, there's value there, and he's a playable option, I think, moving forward if you need someone that will play and you don't want enough. So, there's a couple of guys putting their hand up this week. Let's talk Tigers very quickly. Dream Buller, 94. Stafford Toa, though, for me, was the standout, and Heath Mason. Both absolutely fantastic. for me. Like, obviously, I watch Tigers games a bit closer than most other games, as I'm sure you do as well, Josh. And Starfatoa best on field, Heath Mason probably a close second.
Yeah, I think Starfatoa has been our second best player all year behind Terrell. He's been unreal. And shout out to anyone that jumped on him. I think there was some peel at the start of the season. He was high 200s, I believe, or low 300s, one of the two. He's been really good on that strong side there inside Sonny Taruba. So, look, the ship's well and truly sailed, but yeah, giving big shout outs to him. Yeah, Heath Mason, unreal. Curious to see what happens next week with Latu Fainu being available. Obviously, the future of the Tigers halves, Heath Mason being a noted 6. We've only really seen him play first grade as a fullback, so this is your first taste of him at 6. Really, really good. Played super well. Bit of creativity as well. Allowed Lua to sort of sit a little bit wider too. We saw him put up 48 with a sin bin, so 56 points, which is his best game of the season. Api Coruscant 69, 63 for Alex Seyfarth playing through the middle. Terrell May, 1 line break assist, so 70 BP, no offloads, so absolute superstar. But the man I want to talk about, Tony Suka, 41 minutes, 36 points. Looks like Alex Twal, obviously Alex Twal's out for a little bit, but Suka was playing on the edge, and there's been some rumblings that Seyfarth's being moved back to the middle long term. I'll tell you what, he's not a bad little downgrade option if he's to be named on the edge next week.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, Fainu was rumoured to be, he copped that knock on his knee. So he played, obviously, but he didn't have the best game, did he? 239K for Suka. I mean, you could do much worse. If you needed a solid downgrade, Corey Horsburgh's probably coming to the end of his time if you have him this week. Horsburgh to Suka nets you 300K. Don't hate it.
I do love to know what Benji is thinking playing Royce the choice for a whopping 15 minutes when Alex Twal also plays 8 minutes. That's definitely a choice.
Yeah, obviously the like for like in terms of what their prop or what their middle rotation looked like. Obviously didn't suit what Benji wanted for Royce Hunt, but yeah, that's a questionable rotation. And also, fuck me, the questionable bench, isn't it? But if I see Brent Maiden in the 14 jersey again next week, I'm going to fucking lose my shit. It just
was he like playing
sense.
on an edge too?
Yeah, he's like some weird like hybrid edge middle thing.
Because like I feel like they got him good ball, and then like if it was just somebody that wasn't Brett Naden, they could have scored. Like,
we just suck. Also, just want to highlight this comment from Kez G. Didn't Drinky pull up injured, stop goal kicking unless involved in attack for the last 25. I mean, the Cowboys had no ball for 25. We had 107% possession, and Drinky also just is not a good goal kicker. So he handed it over to, I believe, Purdue took a shot. He also missed, and then Drinky in great Supercoach fashion just took the next one, which was right in front. So saved owners the -2 and got them the +4s.
I think he's done that a couple of times as well, hasn't he? This year, he's a classic for handing the tee over when he's shanked a couple. So
yeah, when it's a tough kick, I'm down on my luck, and then a prop scores under the posts. All right, boys, I'm back.
Yeah, feel good again now. But yeah, that is the Tigers and the Cowboys. Lots of points scored. Was 500s, now 400s in this game, and 94 from Buller. So yeah, plenty of points to go around. And if you got on Dearden, what was it, 4 or 5 weeks ago when you gave him a shout out, Josh, you'd be pretty happy with. I mean, the majority of the scores from him have been okay. So could be worse. It's just a shame he got picked for Origin when we weren't expecting it. So let's move on to the Sea Eagles and the Broncos. Matty will try and keep the pain to a minimum for you. 34-6 Manly. I put a post up that's kind of divided people a little bit on Twitter talking about, is it Madge's preseason starting to catch up with the Broncos now, or is it on the players? The vote on Instagram was 57-43 that it's on the players. There's about 700 votes on that. So not a bad sample size. What do you reckon, Matty? Because you're a Broncos man. Do you reckon it's, the coaching, or do you think the players have to take some responsibility for this?
In all seriousness, do you watch your NRL on KO?
Yes. Because
right now there's a karate Premier League competition in Morocco, and I would rather watch that than another fucking Broncos game this year. Like, I don't know. Blame the coach. Blame the players. I don't know, because there was like limited ticker. Like Cobbo was going all right at fullback. They've moved a winger to fullback, and like shock horror. he had a fucking shocker at fullback. Like, I just thought, like, do they know something that I don't? They all looked gassed the whole fucking game. Like, whether they were and I'll give Payne Haas a pass, and all these guys that have just played Origin 5 days before, like, absolutely give them a pass. But like, why is Corey Paggs playing 49 minutes? Like, what does he offer apart from nothing? Like, I don't know. Like, Ezra looks like your best player out there. Great to see him back. But like, you have a look at this team, and they should be competing. And I don't know if there's anything back from this apart from like a clean out, apart from another coaching change, which like historically that never goes well when you change your coach like 3 times in 3 years. I can't give anyone insight apart from the fact that they were just awful.
What doesn't really make sense to me is Kobe Hetherington's role in this team. Like 47 minutes, 35 tackles, 3 runs. He took 3 runs all game, and obviously scored 39. I'm just like, wouldn't it just make more sense? Get Carrigan back in the 13 jersey. Let Willison go back into the prop rotation with Haas, where that 1-2 punch is big enough, in my opinion. I think Willison's had enough time now to, at NRL level to be a reliable, serviceable prop. Even Corey Jensen, just sitting there wasting away on the bench playing 37 minutes when you've got Kobe Hetherington playing 47. Just makes no sense to me. Like, what did Jensen do wrong? And then, you move Willison into the front row rotation, you bring Piakura on to start on an edge. And I feel like that is a much better forward pack to me than having Kobe just wasted at 13.
Kobe Hetherington is, hey, Mum, can we have Aaron Clark? We have Aaron Clark at home. Aaron Clark at home. No.
It would be, hey, Mum, can we have Morgan Smithies? No, we have Morgan Smithies at home. That's what Kobe Hetherington is.
Wow.
Just a tackle bot.
I don't know. Like, the Broncos, like the poll you put up, like, so 2009, 2010, Ivan Henjak was a disgrace. Anthony Griffin was 2011, 2014. No, it's fine. Like, it wasn't terrible. It was fine. Wayne Bennett came back in 2015. So it was for 2015 through 2018. They were 6th, 4th, second, like consistently good side. Then he moves on. Anthony Seibold comes in. They come 8th in 2019 and get the spoon in 2020. Then obviously Kevin Walters comes in for 3 years, gets to 1 grand final. You play that grand final 9 times out of 10. The Broncos win it. And then it's Michael Maguire. Like, it's at what stage is it no longer the coach and it's just the players? And like, I don't know. The Broncos to me feel like an old boys club, similar to the Tigers. Like, it's just a bunch of split opinions from a bunch of old dudes that no longer play.
Yeah.
But yeah, this roster is way too talented to be struggling.
Yeah.
Just where they're at.
Yep, agreed. I'm probably not looking too many assets from the Broncos moving forward, but Reece Walsh, again, will always be that guy we'll look at when he comes back from injury, and I'm sure he'll bring us some form of pain when we
probably won't.
him.
I definitely will. Especially the Ezra impact. I'm going to spin some kind of narrative.
We went back to the turbo well. You're going to go back to Walsh, mate. Chill.
Yeah, but going to happen? For who? Because I can't sell Teddy. I can't sell Pat.
When Turbo gets injured again.
Yeah,
week.
True.
Speaking of when Turbo gets injured again, Lehigh Hopewati, come on down, son. 107. He was massive. He was in everything. Isn't it amazing how good Manly looked when they had a fully fit fullback in their team? And that's, I don't want to throw too much shade at Turbo, but he's obviously been playing a little bit hampered. He looked better in the game before, obviously taking this week off because he's re-aggravated that quad. But I tell you what, like Lehigh Hopewati is very, very capable of just being the permanent number 1 fullback in nearly every NRL team. So you can do much worse. You can rest Turbo when you need to rest him and just rely on Lehigh. Luke Brooks with 106 as well. 2 try assists take his tally of try assists to 7 for the season. So nearly 33% of his try assists have come in that game. Good on him. Aside from that, DCE with a 65. Matty, is this a statement to say pick me in State of Origin 2, considering the rumours are that he's going to be making way?
No, I mean, it was just the Broncos aren't exactly the New South Wales Origin team, so I'll give that a little bit of a pass. But look, yeah, he looked really good. Did he look rejuvenated? I don't know. Like, the Broncos weren't great, and they were scoring 30 odd points. Historically, Daly Cherry Evans probably would have scored more points, to be to be honest, in other games when they've scored this many points. I mean, I think there needs to be a changing of the guard probably in Queensland level 2, whether you do it in game 2 or whether you just wait the year out. It just depends if you want this to be a waste of a season or you want to roll the dice. So, Great. Cherry looked like he put his personal shit aside for this game. Perfect. He picked the right time for me.
Isn't it funny where like Hamoli's one of these guys where you look at the score, you see 91, you're like, yeah, I understand why he scored 91. And then we look at the season and we're like, fuck, Hamoli's been disappointing this year. And then you look at the season, he's averaging like 65 on the season. It's really not that bad, but he's just a guy that we expect to be so much better because he does have those low scores in him, Josh.
It's just the Terrell May from last year. It's 65, but it's no scores ever near 65. It's just a bunch of 100s and 30s, which is fine. Like at the end of the day, it's 65, but the problem is if you get on the run of 35s, then it becomes quite painful because you'll inevitably sell and miss the runs of the highs. So, yeah, he's got to be prepared to ride this out. Jazz Tavanga has been world class, playing 13. So, yeah, he's been really good. Not much more to say. Ruben Garrick, 70 points, done nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect.
Which is great. I do want to Lehigh Hopewade. So this is a good stonks moment. I had 550k to spend on anyone, and I thought I'd spend 550k on a Manly fullback. Lehigh Hopewade, also 550k fullback, and I went turbo. So he got 70 last week, and Lehigh got 90, and Turbo got a 0, and Lehigh got 110. So it's just a cool 130 point swing in 2 weeks, which is lovely.
It's the way you play SuperCoach, isn't it? That's I've had a few of them this year. Shout out to Hamo for the donation. Thanks, mate. Does Jesus walk and did the Broncos play this week? He's earned the right to say that because he's donated $8, Matty. So
yeah, true. Look, God showed me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing I pray is that my feet don't touch the ground. I tell you what, yeah, Luke Metcalf. I'm already punching the bottom of the desk here. So.
Yeah, save that for when we talk about Lukey Met. But yeah, Manly putting up a score, some good SuperCoach scores there for those that have jumped on Manly players as well. Let's chat the Wars and the Rabbitohs, 36-30, first game of the day at Accor Stadium. We had a conversation, Josh, in the chat, and I was looking at. I said, "Fuck, I really want to get." I don't think this is a conversation.
I think this is more just you using us as a diary, and then me and Maddie both bullied you.
Actually, yeah, that's true. That's probably how our chat works. To be fair, though, for the most part, we just talk into it and hope someone gives us some sort of validation.
So Braino, midday through Saturday said, "Oh, I can." Who was it? It was some bum you could have traded.
No, like I was getting Aitken in, and I could have got Trell instead.
Oh, you could have got Trell, and I said, "Do it, pussy," and then no reply. And then when Trell crashed over, Maddie, just the casual reply, bump. Just making it known that what we thought of him.
Yes.
Yeah, no, just getting stuck into him. It was great. It's every week too. Oh, like I could have went Iongi to Trell too. After you said it, I started exploring.
Yeah, Maddie said the same thing to me, so it wasn't just me copping all the heat. I get it on the podcast, but Maddie in the background there was going, "Oh, can I get a Yongi to Latrell Mitchell this week?" He even said it to me. I'm like,
I could make money on that.
You could. Anyway, 105 for him. He was good. Obviously locked into Origin, but nice little punt there. If you wanted to take a risk on a guy we know is historically a solid player. Alex Johnson goes 3 tries closer to Ken Irvine's record, 103 with a hat trick for him. I guess that's what you're going to get from AJ. You're going to get 18 or you're going to get 100. And he got the 100 this week. So well done to anybody.
Only the one line break, which was if he got normally he's putting up. Maybe his work rate's improved because normally he's putting up 100 with 3 tries, 3 line breaks. So,
yeah, good on Aman for the hat trick. No, well, yes. Aman scored more than a hat trick. He scored 4 tries today.
Yeah, he scored 4 tries.
He did play in 2 different games. So, we'll talk about Aman number 2 a little bit later on.
Jai Arrow, Hooker Drill?
Yeah, it honestly could be.
They're so cooked with injuries. They're so cooked. Thank God. I think Cody Walker's back next week. Jack Whiten's back next week as well. So, we'll talk you and Aitken because obviously shifted to the centers for the last 15 minutes of this game, which was not ideal. But Jack Whiten back next week you'd suspect see, you and Aitken back on the edge where, you made another 4,000 tackles. What do you make? 40 tackles this week. So,
yep.
pumping out the numbers. Should have scored a try if he knew how to borrow. Maybe you can learn that one off Brandon Smith now he's there. But yeah, Jaden Sullivan got a quick play the ball, and instead of diving for the line, Ewan Aiken thought, you know what, I'm going to run chest up at the marker.
But that's how he runs, though, isn't it? He just loves to take anybody on one-on-one. He'd probably been if you check his Google search history, he's looking for that run it straight competitions all around Sydney. I reckon Ewan Aiken. But he was okay. 53 will take in BP. Nothing wrong with that. Especially like you said with the centre minutes there for the last 15. Keon Kalamatangi though, 110 with a try and a line break, 8 offloads. Oh, sorry, 1 offload, 7 tackle breaks, 24 runs. This guy's just an absolute animal. And we were concerned potentially with Mitch Barnett looking like he's going to be missing some time with the knee, that we could see Keon be the man that comes into the New South Wales squad. I still think Stefano might get the gig over Keon, considering Stefano was in that squad. Yeah. I feel like maybe he's one back in that line. Maybe that's my SuperCoach head hoping. Maybe
I don't know how. Like Barnett's like a 50-minute prop. And Craig Bellamy's given Stefano 25 minutes a game. So I pray that doesn't happen. But yeah, baffling.
Yeah, I don't feel confident about having him in round 15. That's for sure. But anyway, look, yeah, Keon's done enough for us this week to justify.
It's still a great purchase.
100%.
Yeah, still a great purchase regardless. I mean, like, I feel like I would have been so much more excited about my Keon trade in if, like, it didn't just feel like everybody got him this week. Yeah. Like, and I'm not just talking on the podcast because quite often a really good option presents itself and our listeners who we slide into the DMs of, but it felt like everybody brought Keon.
No, we're not claiming Keon.
No. It's like 28,428 people brought in Keon. And like by the time you go, what are they? 160,000 people playing and 80,000 people have dropped off. Like 50% of active players probably brought in Keon this week.
The top 10% of teams, 67% bought him.
Yeah, so still 33% that didn't buy him, and it's not the worst case scenario either. Like I don't think South's in any position to not back Keon up. So if you use pick, you only miss round 15.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's a good buy, regardless of whether we get him in 15 or don't. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Lukey Met, 127. I feel like we got it right at the start of the year, but we were too impatient. It's one of those ones where you look back and you're like, fuck, we should have just given him time. It's a new position. Everyone was really harsh on him when he couldn't get it together and when the Wars were looking a little bit ordinary. Now you look at them, they're potentially premiership contenders. They're definitely going to be pushing for a top 4 finish this year. Matty, you're the man. You're the Luke Metcalf man. You'd be a proud dad right now, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. My trading him out and everything wasn't the belief in Luke Metcalf. It was the belief in the Warriors, and they've looked great. And like, I feel like it's people like Aaron Clark and stuff that have elevated this team, which if I told you that 6 months ago, you would not have believed me. Like Tohu Harris out, Aaron Clark in, was next level. Like, seriously.
Aaron Clark. Sorry.
I was going to say, Luke Metcalf could genuinely win the Dally M.
Yeah. Oh, he's leading the count when it went behind closed doors. So, I mean, he's probably jagged another.
He would have got match votes today.
Yep. Guaranteed. I'll tell you what, though, Aaron Clark, 80 in 55 minutes. This guy, and that's 80 in BP in 55 minutes. That is just insane numbers. He's the one that I missed. I was so keen all preseason, and then I ended up missing him in round 1. Yeah. Idiot. And he's way too expensive for me to buy now. Like, I just feel like, I mean, look, you can justify the trade however you want, but I don't know. It's one of those ones, Josh, where you look at it and you go, I should have got him at 360, so I can't pay 720.
Oh, it's just frustrating because we sat here for 2 months and said that, Gainsey plays over 50 minutes. He's got a 1 ppm. Like, this is playing at lock in a bad Titan side, blah, blah, blah. And we just didn't get him. I don't know why.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because Dylan Walker was still there. Yeah, no one could predict the fact that Dylan Walker was going to end up at the Eels mid-season. So that's where it changed everything. You go and look at his scores. It was the week after Dylan Walker left. And then he started banking these massive 60, 70-minute games at lock because he didn't have the rotation there of Walker playing through the middle. So anyway, whoever did.
He's been world class. Like, he's been so good. Like, genuinely so good.
Matty with a random Gutherino there for you YouTube viewers. I'm not quite sure
I
where the
believe this
relevance
is in reference to Kez G, who said if Metcalf wins the Dalian, we need a 24-hour stream of Mattrix doing the Gutherino. I'm sick that day, so just a heads up.
100%. There'll be a GoFundMe or I don't know, an OnlyFans or something if I have to do that. So,
is there any love? Now I'm gonna have to check the price, and I'm gonna quickly do it live on stream. He is. He's not that cheap. He's 544K. I was going to say, is there any love for Jackson Forward with Mitch Barnett going down?
Yeah.
He put up 69 with a try assist. So was that mid-50s BP? But yeah, no, he's priced at what he is, unfortunately. I thought we might have got like a 400K Jackson Forward.
That would have been handy. But no, a draft pickup, absolutely. Guarantee you he's probably sub 20% rostered. Go and grab him ASAP. For sure. Like a Halasima also putting up 63. Only 45 minutes off the bench though, but a try contribution in this one. So
and a line break assist.
And a line break assist. What a man. Putting up some really good scores. Surely he needs to start and just needs to play 80. Or are they using him as this impact guy off the bench? Because he can do both. He's a bit of Terrell in that way.
He's a bit of like Simi Sasagi. Like come off the bench. You've got Niokore will move to the middle. Like played 76 minutes today, but like only 30 of those were on the edge. So yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this Barnett injury. Like whether they do move Niokore, because I think they experimented with Niokore prop for a bit, and move Hallison. But he's I'm going to channel my inner Steve Roach. He is a footy player. We also gave no shout out to Chance. One try contribution, one line break, one offload, 10 tackle busts, 4,000 hit ups. What do you have? 28 hit ups?
Yeah, 28 hit ups. He was huge. That's a lot of the Chance that we. Sorry, Clockst. What's he call him? Clockstar.
Clockstar.
So,
Clockstar.
Yeah. He's been very good, Clockstar. So no, that was a good game from him. That reminds me a lot of what we saw last year. When he came in pretty cheap and you could pick him up cheap, and he had a cracker of a year.
He's 500K. I was looking at him this week behind closed doors, like just when I heard Turbo was out, and I looked at people because I was keen on Holden Iongi, which was I suppose wrong, but I just thought I could go Turbo to someone, and I looked at Latrell and I was just out, and I could go CNK. And yeah, I thought the Rabbitohs might have got up a bit more for this one, and they did late. They lifted.
Yeah.
Chance is a weird one because like he has these games where you're like, oh, you are Brian To'o of the fullbacks. Like you are just the base power god. But he's got like an 80, 38, 37, 38. Like I didn't realize his floor was as low as it was. I thought his floor was a lot better, but you get these highs, 115 versus the Roosters, obviously 100 today as well. So not a guy that I can touch, but yeah, just a nice little Sunday shout out.
Speaking of Sundays, 4 p.m. game, Panthers Eels. I had to hide behind my couch for most of this one as a non-Lomax and non-Cleary owner after I traded him out. I think you'd be happy if you held Cleary with that result, especially if you captained him. You'd also probably be happy if you faded him knowing that he scored 86 over 3 weeks. But yeah, it was a tough watch. I'll tell you what, though, that fucking line break assist that he got at the end of the game was an absolute rort. Tell me that that's not getting taken away in updates.
It'll get taken away.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is the thing. Like this is the Drinkwater conundrum. Like what Drinkwater have one try assist, like 2 line breaks, 8 tackle busts, and he scored 70 odd. Cleary had no tries, no try assists, no forced dropouts, no line break assists, 1 offload, and 2 try contributions for 82.
He does it so easy, doesn't he? Forced dropout.
Cleary was just
and the
standing near someone for that line break assist. So what did he pass it 35 seconds before?
Yeah, it felt like it.
In saying that, like I don't love what I'm seeing. Like
in terms of his role,
shape and roll. Like he's so much more first receiver now, which used to be fine because he used to sit so much wider, especially on the right side. But now it's like, oh, we'll give some ball to Blaze Talungi and let him cook. Or hey, we'll use Dylan Edwards more in the build up on the right hand side. So I think the days of Cleary going like 140, 150 are over.
I feel like Yo used to also do a lot of that first receiver stuff, especially on the right, and get Cleary a bit wider off the ruck. But yeah, it definitely hasn't happened as much this year. But look, a guy that can accumulate like this, he's still the halfback one. You still need to have him. I just think that maybe the faders are feeling okay. so far. We'll see how we go next week because he is going to miss 15 and 16. So if you traded him 2 weeks ago like me, you're going to have to watch 2 games from behind your couch, 4 games off the field. So hopefully you can find those points elsewhere. Also, Casey McLean. Has the man got what's the button to pass on Rugby League Live? To square to pass left and circle to pass right? Am I right?
Casey McLean doesn't know either.
No, I don't. I don't think I've seen a centre just not pass ever.
I'm just impressed the fact that he has a try assist without knowing how to pass. He took the hardest option by putting it on the boot.
Yeah, he still didn't pass. Had to kick it.
I liked your tweet. I liked your tweet today. With Zach Lomax. Zach Lomax falling for a Casey McLean dummy is just the textbook of I actually don't watch game film.
Yeah, I can't believe he bit on a dummy from Casey McLean. That's probably the all-time worst defensive read of all time. But Tom Jenkins has got to be feeling pretty hard done by out there. Poor man's got pneumonia for like 4 weeks in a row, so he's a trade out for me. He scored a try and got 48, but yeah. Has been growling Casey, yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine he definitely would have been. Otherwise, Penrith didn't really put up any other scores here, but the Eels, on the other hand, Jack Williams with a 79 in 73 minutes does it again, back-to-back weeks.
I might actually buy him. I'm actually serious.
He's been huge. He was in Pod Watch this week. We did mention him on the podcast last week as well. So, not a bad little pod. Looks like the minutes are there as well. I mean, there's not really much not to like, really. Like, that's BP. Oh, no, we got a line break. So what's that?
Take 10 off that. So 69
69 in BP. That's fire.
Mum, can we have Aaron Clark? We have Aaron Clark at home.
Mm-hmm. That's a much better example. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. But, like, if you look at minutes, it's gone 45, 58, 54, 66, 73, 73. Like, was it 73 today? Yeah, 73, 73. Like, the minutes have popped up. Like, it's starting to look more consistent. It's been trending the right way. Like, fuck.
I think it really
Tell me
helps.
He's not your next gun.
It really, really helps that Parramatta are one of the few sides that don't run 80-minute edges. I think that does help. You got obviously Katoga 66 minutes today. Luke Moretti 41, Matto 41, Jermaine Hopgood 7 minutes a game. Like, it really does help Williams. I think he's been like unreal. All the signs were there in the preseason. You know, move clubs, leadership group, training the house down, impressing the right people. So it does go to show you that sometimes these, as much as people take the training the house down stuff as a piss take, sometimes there is credence to it, especially players moving to new clubs. If you see like sudden shifts in things happening, like a new recruit coming in and being in the leadership group, there's obviously things happening in the right areas for him to thrive. And he's just being really well. And I'm actually seriously considering buying him. My numbers for 15. Yeah, my numbers for 15 aren't too bad, and my numbers for 18 aren't too bad either. So yeah, he's a guy that I could, if I want to move off some Raiders assets early, then yeah, I might actually look at some numbers tonight and see if we can make way for a Jack Williams trade in.
Like it. Very spicy. But yeah, you can do much worse, that's for sure. Aside from everyone else, Jermaine Hopgood, the same kind of things happening week in, week out, plays less than 40 minutes again this week. Like, he's got to be managing an injury through this period. That back apparently has rumored to be flared up again. So wouldn't it just make sense though to just give him some time off if he's playing injured?
And it's not like you've got no one to replace him with. Dylan Walker's been unreal.
Yeah.
And Dylan
Ryan
Walker
Madison now is playing some minutes. He can play 13.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, nor do I.
Don't get it. Don't understand. Anyway, I've got to get through one more week of Nathan Cleary. Wish me luck. It's
we're going to talk about Zach Lomax. It's a very stressful watch not owning. Trust me. It was not fun.
What did he take? 24 runs or something?
15, 23. No tackle busts, which was shocking. So old Jenko, Milkman did a really good job on him, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at that matchup, Matty, and we thought that was going to be gold, running at McLean and Jenkins, who have been pretty much a turnstile as a combination through this year, but they managed him pretty well. Yeah,
and don't you just feel like, and I know it's 51 from Lomax and disappointing for owners, but don't you just want to fist pump the air when you didn't buy them and they just score a 50? I know.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, and
only the best. That's how I've won this week, by doing nothing, by not actioning Thanks.
But it is the opposite when you tell people to sell a player and they score a try. So more specifically in the 77th minute, and they play center for the Roosters. That's frustrating.
Look, I mean, the money is going to dry up very quickly for him. Let's move on to that game, shall we? We'll talk about the last game of the week. 24, the Roosters.
James Tedesco, like he's so good. Like from a Supercoach standpoint, 13 tackle busts, like fucking hell.
Yep, it's like a million tackle busts, line breaks, tries, actually, you know what? He hasn't actually had too many tries this year either. Like there's a lot of support play, a lot of create play from Tedesco, but I'll quickly bring it up. 151 break even, so he's going to drop back down to probably 850 this week. He's scored. If the my internet's not playing. Here we go. He's scored a double against St. George in round 8. That was the first time he scored a try this year. Then he scored a try last week against last week against the Sharks, and now another try this week. So have the floodgates open for Teddy? Maybe, but only 3 tries for Teddy in 11 rounds of footy just doesn't seem like normal Tedesco. So and he's still the highest averaging fullback in the game at the moment. So.
And no try assist today either. That's the scary thing for non-owners. The thing as well with Teddy is it's never 20 in the 70th minute and you're praying for some last minute junk. Like it's just consistent. He's going to average 80 on the year, and that will come down to a 1 ppm. But I wouldn't be shocked if it is a true 1 ppm if he's just putting up a point a minute from fullback.
Can't argue with that. That's why I want him. I just go, Matty.
Like I could have bought him this week, but it's just like I thought the Raiders would be a bad matchup for Tedesco, but maybe he's just matchup proof nowadays. Like even that 68 against the Sharks, quote unquote, fullback killers.
Yeah. If that's the worst of T, then absolutely you'll take it. Sandon Smith, boys, he's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who do they drop? Because the talk of the town is Mr. Samuel Walker will return next week via Cup. Do you break up the 6 and 7 partnership, or do you just give Sam Walker a month in Cup? Like reports are that Sandon Smith's the one's going to make way when and if DCE comes to the club, but he's been so good for Hugo Savala. It takes a lot of the pressure off him.
Yeah, I mean, look, does it? As far as I'm aware, DCE is not going to be coming before June 30, is he?
Oh, no, it's not this year.
No? Okay.
No,
so we're looking at
contracts up.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, Smith will be the guy. I'm assuming Savala will be dropping out for Sam Walker when he's fit and healthy, and Sandon Smith would be the one playing the 6. But Walker does play on the left side for the most part. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they structure that. But yeah, he's been so good, man. Like he's been the cornerstone of their attack for the most part. He's been actually kicking really well as well. So it's real tough one. Be interesting to actually see whether Sam Walker kicks goals coming back from this injury or not. I'd probably guess that maybe he doesn't to start. So they probably need to keep Sandon around a little bit longer. But
I was more thinking giving it back to 33% career percentage James Tedesco.
Yeah, give Billy Smith some goals. Fucking hell, he needs a bit of a bump in scoring, doesn't he? 45 in 80 minutes. This is probably what you're going to get with no attack. He did have a try contribution there, so technically 41 in BP. People are angry about Billy Smith cucking them after was a Supercoach catfish, isn't it? When he goes 70 and then goes 30s and when you buy him, it's always the way. We said it on the Wednesday show, though. I reckon there is every chance that as soon as the masses sell him, he'll start going on a run. And I'm going to be there until the end. I think in round 27, Billy Smith's going to be in my team and he's going to be 313K. And
but he's
going to be
fine.
stoked.
Like he's fine to play in weeks of a pinch, I think.
Yeah, 100%. He was looking like a really good play until Robert Toya got that junk there at the end for a 58 from him. He'll make probably what's that, 70, 80 over his break even. So what's that, probably 65K this week. Gets close to 600K. Definitely a trade next week.
Comes into a break even of 89 pre-update. So definite sell next week.
Well, he's not going to play for 2 weeks anyway because the Roosters have to buy next week. Then he's got Origin. And I can't see him being dropped from Origin. So
I think he has a buy in 7. I think he has a buy in 17 as well.
He does. Yeah.
And then plays Origin in 18. So it's like you get 2 games out of him?
1 game. You get 16 out of him.
Including this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely a trade. Definitely a trade. Use that 600K, either upgrade or free up some cash. I'm probably going to have to free up some cash to get one of these gun fullbacks, but yeah, fantastic from Toya there to get me some junk, and it's kind of like free money at the end. It's like, when you've got your final hit on the pokies, right? And you haven't decided I'm going to drop down to 5-cent hits just to get rid of the cash. You got your last $5 hit and you get a feature on your last $5 hit. That's what Robert Toya scoring that try felt like right at the end of this game. So gamble responsibly out there for you pokies players out there, but what a time. Other than that, really nothing leaping off the page. Angus Crichton probably going to be a nice little pickup there on the run home for the Roosters, but 66 for him. Teddy's the man. What about the Raiders though? What did you take away from this one, Matty? Tamale, Josh is sitting there very happy as a Tamale owner. I sold him a while ago. What'd you do with him?
I've never owned Tamale.
What?
No.
Ever?
Yeah, that never, like, not for 1 second. That's what never means. So yeah,
That's actually fucking insane.
yeah. I mean, sorry, I'm sitting here with Aaron Clark, and you guys are splitting straws at, hot tomato there. But anyway, I've still got Jesse Arthurs, just in case you're wondering.
That's
Needle mover.
Great. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Tamale is that guy. 1 try assist, 1 line break assist, 2 offloads, 8 tackle busts, 24 hit ups. Like
he's very slippery, isn't he?
Yes.
Man can find a tackle break.
He's second. He's second in tackle busts behind Teddy for the season.
Yeah. Right. Okay. That's cool. Did not know.
He's only like 5 or 6 behind as well. Like it's not like Teddy's running away with it.
Yeah. That's fair. Talk to me about this forward minutes rotation, because Tarpany 44 minutes, Horsburgh 42 minutes, Smithies 42 minutes. Hosking ended up playing the majority of his minutes in the middle for 69 minutes, giggity. And then Papali'i, Mariota, everyone just played 40 to 60 minutes in this one for the most part. And you look at them getting battered up the middle. We were like Aman and us were all kind of, very, very frustrated at Ricky Stewart at the back end of this game, thinking Raiders are getting beaten to a pulp up the middle of the field, and they still hadn't brought Horsburgh or Tarpany or Smithies back on. And then miraculously, as soon as they bring their middles back on, Josh, it's a miracle. They start playing well and they actually end up winning.
Shock horror that 40-year-old Josh Papali'i is being rinsed laterally. I guess we could see the writing on the wall here. Simi Sasagi, 51 minutes, probably played himself into some credence last week. I mean, played 80 last week against the Wires in New Zealand, played super well. I said he was best on ground last week, and Ricky's rewarded him with 51 minutes this week. Before then, 16, 14, 34, 16, 20. Like, I think the form last week definitely played a part. Prop Zach Hosking was just not a vibe. I don't know if I can sell, because there's every chance he just goes back and plays 80 minutes on the edge next week and he becomes a stud. So it's very strange. I think I will be selling Corey Horsburgh. I did sell Corey Horsburgh this week. Never mind. I think if you have Corey Horsburgh, definitely sell Corey Horsburgh. It's sort of done for him, isn't it?
For sure. Yeah. Matty, you sold him as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I sold Corey. I went Corey Horsburgh to Keon straight up. That's why I only did 1 trade last week. So
that's fair.
Yeah, could just do that. So
I was going to trade him until Ponga was out, and then I had to flick Ponga because I needed a warm body. I think I was playing with 19 this week and didn't want to have to rely on not getting my flex. So ended up keeping Horsburgh for a week, but yeah, he's gone along with Toya next week for me. I think probably 2 of the easier trade outs next week to free up some cash. But yeah, there's not a lot of reliability about this Raiders pack at the moment. So it's probably the right time now to start moving.
43 points for Tarpany without that try. 40 for Hosking, 43 for Smithies, 41 for Sasagi with a try, 40 with Papali'i, 38 with Mariota, 43 for Corey Horsburgh. I don't know. It's tough.
Tough to get a read. Yeah, it's tough to get any sort of consistency.
But honestly, like Smithies can play 60 next week. Hosking can play 80 on the edge. Like, it's so tough.
Yeah, but that's the problem with Raiders players as well, right? Like we've had some sort of reliability up until now. And now all of these question marks are starting to pop up.
Yeah, actually. We always talk about Ricky Roulette, and some of the new players might not know what we're talking about, but this is it.
This is peak Ricky Roulette. You're right in the thick of it.
Hosking trade out's an easier trade out than Toya for me next week. I just did not like what I and I know he played minutes, but like, was he good? No.
No, and you'd think in the middle he would. Like, if you told me Hosking played 50 minutes in the middle, I'd be like, oh, sweet. But 22 tackles, what's doing there? It didn't help that the Raiders had like 17 sets of 6 in the first 30 minutes on the Roosters line.
Yeah, that's probably true. It wasn't a real overly grindy game, but yeah, question marks. Too many question marks for me. I think I could happily move on majority of my Raiders players now, knowing that they're also going to miss 15 and 19 coming up is just not a place I want to live in. So, but yeah, Tarpany got a junk try at the end to get 60 as well, but you'd be a little bit disappointed with the 44 minutes there for 60. That's probably unders when you're buying a guy for 750. So, yeah, question marks, more question marks than answers. That's for sure with Ricky's Raiders. Guys, that brings us to the end. That is round 13. Hopefully you're going to wake up in the morning after updates and you're going to see that you've maybe got some green arrows in store, but and potentially win some head-to-heads overnight. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for jumping in. Hit subscribe if you have not yet so you don't miss any of the future episodes. And we'll be back on Tuesday for the Q&A and then Wednesday for the live preview for round 14. We'll catch you then. See ya.
Cheerio.